Hi, have you ever felt trapped in a life you never chose? My name is Rose. In 1912, I boarded the Titanic with my mother and my fiancé, Cal. The Titanic was the biggest ship in the world. People said it could never sink. Everyone was excited, but I was not. I was rich, but I was not happy. I felt like a bird inside a cage. Cal was handsome and very rich. My mother liked him because he had money. She always told me that marrying him was the best choice, but I did not love him. He liked controlling everything I did. He told me what to wear, where to go, and how to act. Every day I felt more unhappy. I smiled in front of people, but inside, I was sad. One evening, I walked to the back of the ship. The ocean was dark and cold. I looked down at the water. I felt hopeless. For a moment I thought about jumping. Then I heard a voice. "Please don't do that." I turned around. A young man was standing behind me. His name was Jack Dawson. Jack was very different from the people I knew. He was poor. He traveled with almost nothing. He said he won his Titanic ticket in a card game. He spoke with confidence and kindness. He made jokes that made me laugh. For the first time in a long time, I forgot my problems. I stepped away from the edge and talked to him. Suddenly, I slipped. I almost fell over the railing. Jack quickly grabbed my hand. A few people saw what happened. Soon, a crowd gathered around us. Everyone believed Jack had saved my life. My family thanked him. As a reward, Jack was invited to have dinner with us. The next evening, Jack came to the first-class dining room. He wore borrowed clothes. Many rich passengers looked at him strangely. Some even laughed at him. But Jack did not care. He sat proudly and spoke honestly. He talked about traveling and seeing the world. I listened carefully. His stories were more interesting than anything I had ever heard. After dinner, Jack invited me to a party in third class. I followed him downstairs. The place was full of music, dancing, and laughter. People were singing and having fun. Nobody cared about money. Nobody cared about social status. Everyone was happy. I danced until I was tired. That night was one of the happiest nights of my life. After that, Jack and I spent more time together. We walked around the ship. We talked about our dreams. I told him how trapped I felt. He listened without judging me. Jack told me life was meant to be lived freely. His words touched my heart. Slowly, I started falling in love with him. One afternoon, Jack took me to the front of the ship. The wind blew through our hair. The ocean stretched far into the distance. "Close your eyes," he said. I trusted him. When I opened them, I felt like I was flying. I laughed loudly. For the first time in years, I felt completely free. But not everyone was happy about our friendship. Cal began watching us closely. He noticed the way I looked at Jack. His face became angry whenever Jack was near me. My mother warned me to stay away from him. She said people like Jack were not good enough for our family, but I no longer cared. Every day, my feelings for Jack grew stronger. I realized that money could not buy happiness. Jack had very little, but he enjoyed life. Cal had everything, but he was never satisfied. The more time I spent with Jack, the more I understood what real happiness looked like. I wanted a different future. I wanted freedom. One cold night, everything changed. The Titanic hit an iceberg. The crash was not very loud. Many passengers barely noticed it. Some continued talking and laughing. Others went back to sleep. But below the ship, Icy water was rushing inside. The crew members knew something was terribly wrong. Soon, officers began preparing lifeboats. Passengers were told to put on life jackets. At first, people did not want to leave the ship. Many believed the Titanic was too strong to sink. But as time passed, fear spread everywhere. People started asking questions. Nobody knew exactly what would happen next. The ship slowly began to lean. The air became colder. Families held each other tightly. Mothers carried their children. Passengers ran through the hallways looking for loved ones. Jack found me in the crowd. "We must stay together," he said. I nodded. I was scared, but I trusted him. Cal found us and offered me a seat on a lifeboat. My mother begged me to get in. I stepped into the boat. It slowly began moving down. Then I looked up and saw Jack standing alone on the ship. Suddenly, I knew what I wanted. I jumped out of the lifeboat and ran back to him. Jack smiled when he saw me. Together, we searched for a way to survive. Water was flooding the lower decks. People were screaming. The crew was trying to keep order. The ship leaned more and more. Every minute became more dangerous. Still, we refused to leave each other. Eventually, the Titanic began to break apart. A terrible noise filled the air. Passengers cried and prayed. Some jumped into the ocean, others held onto the railings. Then the giant ship disappeared beneath the freezing water. Everyone was thrown into the sea. The cold was unbearable. Jack found a floating wooden door. He helped me climb onto it. The door could not hold both of us. There was only enough space for one person. Jack stayed in the freezing water. I begged him to get on, but he shook his head. He knew it would sink if he tried. Jack held my hand. His face was pale from the cold. "Promise me you will survive," he said. Tears ran down my face. I promised. He told me to live a long and happy life. He told me never to give up. I wanted to save him, but there was nothing I could do. Slowly, Jack became weaker. His voice grew quieter. The freezing water took away his strength. I called his name again and again. Then he stopped answering. My heart broke. The person I loved was gone. I felt alone in the middle of the dark ocean. After some time, a rescue boat returned. I remembered my promise to Jack. I found a whistle and blew it as hard as I could. A crew member heard me. They pulled me from the freezing water. I survived that terrible night, but I never forgot Jack. Many years passed. I traveled the world. I had many adventures. I lived the life Jack wanted for me. People remembered the Titanic as a great disaster. But when I thought about that voyage, I remembered something else. I remembered a young man who taught me how to live, and I remembered the love that changed my life forever.